What's up? What's up? What's going on, my beautiful people? Hey, it's your boy, Mr. Wilson, back in the building. Yes. Mr. Wilson is back in the building. Hey, I'm here with Golden Gemz Media, giving you all the coverage that you need. Today's topic, man, hey, it's a spicy one. It's a spicy one. You understand me? Today, we talking about life's journey, for one. Then on top of that, we also talking about, a little bit of myself, yours truly, a little bit about my past. You understand me? Just a little bit. And then we also going to talk about why I believe in my heart of hearts the Cleveland Browns should trade that boy Shedeur Sanders. All right? So without further ado, grab your popcorn. Go ahead, grab your little snacks. Hopefully you praise the Lord a little bit today. Hopefully you did. But hey, just sit back, relax, and hey, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, without further ado, man, hey, God is good. God is great, and God is the greatest. You understand me? But let's go ahead and dive right into it, man. So today, I got a little bit of motivational talk for you. All right, so before we dive into Shador Sanders, before we dive, into my story and a little bit about, my background and the real story about what went down and what happened, at Arkansas, at Marion, before we dive into all that, I got to give you a couple of gems just about life. All right, so without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get started. All right, everybody in this world, including your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, everybody. And hold on. Whoa. Before I even get started with all that, hey, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And hey, make sure you send this to your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, friend of another friend, cousin, little sister, little Timmy, and little Susie who stay across the street. All right, and please, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But seriously, though, on a positive note, man, we got to talk about life journey. Because life's journey is a beautiful one. You understand me? And hold on, before we even get started with that, my brother has been on my mind. So before I forget, I got to go ahead and get this in too. Before I forget, rest in heaven to my guy. We forever balling like we Gino. You feel me? Rest in heaven to my guy. You've been on my heart, man, for quite a while. I love you, brother. I miss you. All right. Yesterday I had a little tribute on my Instagram for him. I was really, feeling his presence. And, I just wanted to, let people know, hey, my brother, long live him. Long live Gino. My guy, I miss you. But God is good, man. God is good. God is the greatest. All right. So hopefully you praise the Lord today. Hopefully you got your snacks, you got your popcorn ready. And now, without further ado, hey, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so today we're starting off, before we get into talking about Cleveland, before we get into talking about my story, my journey, we're talking about life's journey. All right? Everybody's journey is going to be different. All right? Everybody's story is going to be different. Your journey, your story, and your trials and tribulation and the adversity that you face in your life is not going to be the same as my trials, my tribulations, and the adversity that I face ultimately in my life. You got to understand with this life thing and this thing called life, man, it's one big game, man. And I play it so well. It's chess, not checkers out here. I just got to go ahead and give you that little tidbit, but we'll talk about that in another episode. But with today's episode, though, specifically, you got to understand, man, through life's journey, it's a beautiful, beautiful journey, man. You just got to understand that you have to embrace it. And if you don't know the real definition of journey, so let me break this all the way down to you before I really dive deep. You understand me? Journey. It's an act of traveling from one place to another. All right? So the act of traveling from one place to another. And if you think about it, us as humans, we do this every day. Whether you're traveling to work, whether you're traveling to school, whether you're traveling to see your mama, your daddy, whether you're traveling to see some family members, life is a beautiful journey and you got to learn to embrace it. I was just talking to somebody recently and they was kind of telling me, about the trials and tribulations that they were going through and just about, the ups and downs within their own life. And, they were saying like how, they've overcome so much. And it seems like, God has, it just keeps on picking on them. And they just kind of just want to, just be living their best life. They don't want to go through, the ups and downs of life. They don't want to, go through, the bad times, and they don't want to go through the good times. But you got to understand with this journey called life, You're going to have bad times and you're going to have good times. In this journey called life, things ain't going to always be the way that you want it to be. You got to understand life is a roller coaster. You got to understand life is a journey. And you got to embrace the journey. You got to embrace your journey. Your life will never look the same as their life, her life, his life, your brother's life, or your sister's life. We all have a different journey. And specifically, you got to understand that your journey is uniquely yours. Your journey is uniquely meant for you. God placed you on that journey, and God placed you on that path for you for a reason. You know, and you got to understand, man, in this thing called life, it's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be all sunshine and rainbows 24/7. It's not. And until you understand that, until you really get that through your thick skull, yeah, some of y'all know, hey, I know you stubborn a little bit. You feel me? I know you be wanting to, oh my God, why is this happening to me? It's happening because it's supposed to happen. You got to understand with anything in life, man, it is a journey for a reason. You got to understand me. You will have moments in time in your life where you feel like you're down in the dumps, where you feel like you don't know what you're doing and where you're going. You're going to have times in your life where you feel like, hey, I don't know which way to turn. That is okay. You just got to understand that, hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You got to understand that, hey, eventually I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to be okay. So don't throw a pity party. Don't look for sympathy or empathy from this person or that person. Enjoy your journey because it's uniquely yours. Embrace life's journey. Whether you're 5, whether you're 6, whether you're in high school trying to figure it out, your journey is uniquely yours. Life is going to throw you to the left, to the right, up and down, side to side. You feel me? That's how it's supposed to be. You're going to have your heart broken. You're going to lose some people. And then you're going to experience the joys of life where you just laugh and you're spending time with your family. You're having so much success. That is how life is supposed to go. Your story is already written. The big man upstairs already said, hey, I took care of you. Yes, you going through this, but guess what? You won't be going through this forever. You understand me? That's what y'all got to get through y'all heads, man. Like, at the end of the day, life, guess what? It's life for a reason. All right? Hey, it's chestnut checkers out here, man. And the more and more you keep pushing, the more and more you keep waking up, the more and more you keep going after your goals and your dreams, the more and more you keep going after that thing that's right here in that little heart of yours or that big heart of yours. And some of y'all got big hearts. You know, it's still some good people out here in the world. But some of y'all hearts are like this. Like you can't even really see it. That's because you done been hurt before. You done been, you know, through the worst kind of trials and tribulations. You feel me? But you got to understand, man, like, just because you feeling down and bad, just because you upset, just because you ain't where you want to be, that doesn't mean you got to throw in a towel. That doesn't mean that it's not going to eventually get back right for you. That doesn't mean that God ain't going to spin a block on your enemies, or God ain't going to spin a block on you, for you. All right? So understand, man, in this journey called life, it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. All right? You just have to understand that just because you down and out doesn't mean you're out. Just because you're down today don't mean you ain't going to be on top tomorrow. Just because you was outside looking at what you wanted at the store, just because you was window shopping yesterday, doesn't mean you ain't going to be walking in the store buying everything up in there the next day, or the next week, or the next month, or the next year. You feel me? So y'all got to understand, man, this journey called life, man, you have to embrace it. You have to embrace your journey. Stop being a follower and doing what Johnny and Lil Susie do. Carve out your own path. In this world, we got too many followers, man. Y'all idolizing Drizzy Drake. You know more about Beyonce. You know more about Lil Nas X. You know more about these celebrities than you do your own self. And God made you uniquely you for a reason. You got to focus on your journey. You got to put them blinders on, baby. You got to put them blinders on and you got to go forward. You feel me? Put the blinders on, man, and go after what you want in this life. You feel me? At the end of the day, life is not supposed to be easy. Life will never be easy. All right? You understand me? Let me say that again. Life is not supposed to be easy, And life will never be easy, especially if you got ambition, especially if you really want to succeed, especially if you really want what you say you want. You feel me? So in this journey called life, man, in this journey called life, you got to understand that you're going to be all right. Just keep on embracing it. In the moments where you have to be happy and be in the moment. In the moments where you're feeling sad, you're feeling like you don't know which way to turn, which way to go. Hey, that's okay. Embrace that. But just know you're going to come on the other side of that. And I can say this from experience. I done lost plenty of people. You understand me and my family. I done lost plenty of people. I done been feeling like I'm on top of the world. And then I've been brought back down all the way right here. That's how life is supposed to go. But eventually, your life is going to go just like this. It's going to be smooth sailing. Eventually. But if you don't start embracing the journey, if you don't start loving your journey, if you don't start going after the things that you want, if you don't start working hard for the things that you want, if you don't start separating yourself from your friends and the followers, you will never get ultimately what you want. You ain't going to never get there because you too worried about god dang Tom Brady. You too worried about Jeremy Lin. You too worried about Dwayne Wade. You too worried about all these celebrities. What you worried about them for? Huh? Are they going to affect and impact your life today? No. You feel me? So until you realize that you got to embrace your journey, until you realize that you got to embrace your story, until you realize that you got to go get what you say you want, you'll never really be happy. And that's the thing. It's so much evil in this world. Along your path of success, you're going to encounter evil things. You're going to encounter evil people. You're going to encounter things that you never foresaw you encountering. But that's what it's supposed to be like. That's how it's supposed to go. All right? So embrace your journey. Love your journey. And love yourself. Because the journey is meant to be a journey. It's you going from one destination to another. I never want you staying in the same place forever. If you feel like you can't excel and you can't be happy at home, then hey, figure out how to eventually be happy somewhere else. If you feel like you can't, get done what you want to get done, then figure out another way to get it done. Y'all got to understand, man, in this life, your journey is uniquely yours. So you have to figure out the things that work for you and the things that don't work for you. The friends that's there for you and the friends that's not there for you. The people that really want to see you succeed and the people who don't want you to succeed. Because guess what? Not everybody want to see you win. Not everybody want to see little Susie grow up to be a gymnastic world traveler and a gymnastic winner and an Olympian. Not everybody want to see little Johnny go to the major leagues and play baseball and be the starting pitcher of the White Sox. Not everybody want to see that. But guess what? If you want to see it, if you want that for your life, if you want to be the next Beyonce, the next Drizzy Drake, then go be that. Stop listening to other people. Stop listening to the naysayers. Block them out. Focus on your journey, baby. Focus on where you're headed and where you're going. Because if you focus on where you're headed and you're going and you put them blinders on, oh boy, you're going to be just fine. You understand me? So I don't want to make this segment too long, man. I just want, you know me. Hey, we back to the Motivational Mondays. We back to the motivational talk with yours truly. You feel me? Mr. Wilson is in the building 24/7. You understand me? So understand, man, when you start embracing your journey, every part of it, the ups and downs, the ugly, the bad, you will be just fine. Sometimes, guess what you need to do? Guess what you need to do? Sometimes you need to go ahead, take a step back. You feel me? Take a step back. Come all the way back. Look at everything that has happened in your life. And then be like, dang, wow, I'm loving this journey. I'm going to embrace this journey because I know it's a journey. I know that ultimately the big man upstairs, at least for me, the big man upstairs, oh, he going to get me to where I'm really supposed to be. The big man upstairs, oh, he going to guide me. And he gonna remove the people that's not supposed to be in my life, and he gonna bring the people in who's supposed to be in my life. So my advice to you: embrace your journey, love your journey, man. Hey, you gonna be just fine. All right, you gonna be just fine. But until you start doing that, and still you start embracing the journey, and still until you start loving the journey, you'll never be happy in this world, man. This world is meant to throw you distractions. It's so much propaganda out here. There's so many distractions. You got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got Twitter, you got this, you got that, you got this, you got that. It's so many distractions that's going to pull you away from ultimately where you're supposed to be. It's so many distractions in this world that's going to take you away from your ultimate goal and your ultimate destination. Y'all got to stop worrying about Shedeur Sanders. Even though that's my guy, I love him. But y'all got to stop worrying about, Drizzy Drake. Y'all got to stop worrying about, you feel me, Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Stop worrying about them because they ain't going to help you. They ain't going to assist you on your journey. So what you tripping about? What you worrying about them for? When they ain't going to help you, they ain't finna come give you that money to go get that dream and that goal. They ain't finna pay for that training class. They ain't finna come assist you. So you got to understand, you got to assist yourself. You got to throw on them blinders. You got to delete TikTok. Or you got to, have a time limit. I'm only strolling for 5-10 minutes. You got to delete Instagram. Or have a time limit. I'm only on here for about 5 minutes to post something that I'm getting right off. All right? In life, God gives you choice and free will. You have free will every single day that you wake up out of that bed. Today, you can choose to go hurt somebody in the streets. Or you can choose to focus on yourself and go get ultimately what you say you want. That's it. You got free will. You can do whatever you want. Just like Mr. Wilson. I had a choice. You feel me? And I'm going to touch on this just a little bit. With, the stuff I got going on right now. The case. You feel me? I had a choice. I had a choice that I could either go down that path and go get right. You feel me? With the things that I wanted to get right with and fight for my rights and fight for, what's right. Or I could have just let life happen and just say, dang, wow, poor me. And just threw a pity party and just went to go find another job, went to go do this, went to go do that. You got to fight and stand up for what's yours. You got to go get ultimately what you want in this world and what's yours. You feel me? At the end of the day, don't worry about little Johnny. Don't worry about little Susie. Don't worry about little JoJo. Worry about you. Know yourself, baby. Because when you know yourself and when you're working on yourself and when you're doing good for yourself, ain't nobody can tell you nothing. So before we dive into my story, we about to get there. Before we dive into Shedeur Sanders, because we about to get there, I need you to focus on your life's journey. It's okay to be distracted and get your mind off the stress, get your mind off the worries. It's okay to drink a little alcohol if that's what you do. It's okay to smoke a little if that's what you do, but do it in moderation. Do it in a way where it's not going to affect you long term. Do it in a way where it's not going to mess up the brain that God gifted you with. It's okay to do all those things. I don't do all those things. I don't do any of those things, being honest with you. But it's okay to do those things. But if you do it in moderation. Get on TikTok in moderation. Get on Twitter in moderation. Don't be on this scrolling all day. That's not helping you on your journey, is it? Is you talking about Donald Trump and what he's doing in this world? Is it going to help you? Is it going to help you get to your next goal? Is it going to help you get to your next destination? For real. Is you talking about Bernie Sanders? If you talking about Kamala Harris, is that going to help you on your next journey? Is you listening to Lil Wayne and listening to NBA Youngboy all day, every day? Why you strolling on TikTok? Why you eating those hot Cheetos? You eating those nachos? Is that going to help you on your journey? Seriously, is that going to help you get to where you ultimately want to be? No. So, eventually, you're going to have to look that woman or look that man in the mirror. Eventually, you're going to have to be a man of your word or a woman on your word. Eventually, You don't have to do the things that you say you mean and you won't. Ultimately, to get to your destination and where you want to go. Your life is going to go like this. And if it ain't going like that, then, hey, boy, you blessed. Girl, you're blessed. You feel me? But understand that your journey is going to be different from mine. Understand that your life ain't going to always be sunshine and rainbows. Understand that you can really manifest and go get anything in this world that you want. But are you going to be disciplined? Are you going to have a little structure? Are you going to do things in moderation? The choice is yours. For me, it's an easy choice. But you got to understand, it's a choice. You got to understand, you got free will. You got to understand that you can do whatever you want in this world. But it's up to you. You feel me? So, with continuing to talk about life's journey, we're going to talk about my journey. Because I didn't gave you all these, these tidbits. I didn't gave you all the information. So now we're going to go ahead and dive into Mr. Wilson's story. So I can really tell you what's up. And I can really go ahead and dive into the title of today's video. All right. The first part, we're going to hit on the second part because I got a lot to talk about with Shedeur Sanders. I got a lot to talk about with that. All right. So we gonna hit Shedeur Sanders. So if you hit for Shedeur Sanders, I advise you to come back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Or I advise you to come back in probably about 20. Probably about 20 minutes. If you want to hit my thoughts on Shedeur Sanders, come back in about 20 minutes. But if you want to hear a little bit about my journey and how it can potentially help you with yours and why Mr. Wilson ultimately decided to leave a Division I school and stop playing college football, and maybe that might help you on your journey, then sit back, relax, go grab your popcorn, go grab a little snack or something, and listen. So, talking about that. So, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson has had an incredible life up to this point. Mr. Wilson has had an incredible journey up to this point. And I have nobody to thank but the Lord upstairs. My journey has been so special and so unique that I don't think nobody else can or could, I don't think nobody else could walk in my shoes if I'm being honest with you. I don't think her, him, they, anybody can ever walk in Mr. Wilson's shoes. And that's how it's supposed to be because God laid out my journey uniquely for me. So diving into it. Why did Mr. Wilson, an athlete who's been playing sports since the age of 3, really on a team, started at the age of 5. My first sport that I ever played was baseball. Yeah, my first sport that I ever played was baseball. That was my first love, my first passion. And I played all the way up until, I played literally every single year. So when I was 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, I played baseball my whole life. That was my first love. That was my first sport. And then that led me to playing football at the age of 7. And I played 7 up until, I said I played 7. I played football from the age of 7 up until, I want to say about 2 or 3 years ago when I stopped playing and I left Arkansas. So talking about my journey, talking about my story, let me tell you this. When you realize that things aren't for you, when you realize that God has a bigger plan for you, and when you ultimately realize what you ultimately need and want in your life, that's when you become a man. And that's when you become a woman. Because for me, you got to understand, sports was my everything. Seriously, sports was my everything. I played football. I played baseball. I played basketball my whole life. When I got to high school, I didn't have a summer. I didn't have a life. I played literally during the summers. I went from playing football in the morning to going right after that to basketball in the afternoon from about 12 to 1 to having 2-3 baseball games later on that night. So I never had a summer. I never really had anything outside of sports. to kind of focus on or pull my attention away. Because I went from one sport to the next. You got to understand, when you an athlete and you a 3-sport athlete, like yours truly was, I literally played 3 sports all year round. So I went from football straight to basketball, from basketball straight to baseball, from baseball straight to back training for football. Then from football straight training for basketball. Like, when you're an athlete and you're a 3-sport athlete in particular, you don't really have a life, dog. You don't. But I was okay with that because that's what I wanted. So I'm giving you this background because it's going to ultimately lead to the end of the story. But I'm just telling you, with me, sports was everything. Football was everything. Baseball was everything. I remember even when my mentor, my uncle who passed away, rest in heaven, uncle, he was my mentor. From the age of probably 5 to when I eventually went to high school. So from the age of 5 to probably like 13 or 12, this man used to pick me up for weeks on end and take me to the park, have me come in. He'd set up a cage in his backyard, a throwing machine. Like, this man groomed me to be an athlete. He groomed me to damn near be a professional pitcher. You feel me? I played sports because for me, sports was ultimately going to be my way out. Sports was going to be the thing that paid for my mama a house. You know? Sports was going to be the thing that paid for mama a house. You feel me? I even told my uncle that. And he told me this. Literally, he used to always remind me. He used to always say, remember what you told me? And I remember it like it was yesterday. We was in the backyard. I was training for probably like an hour or two. Sitting here throwing at the cage. He had the, you know, when you're a pitcher, you got the squares. And anyway, some of y'all don't, some of y'all, if you don't know, you ain't gonna know. But essentially, he had it set up in the backyard, and I'm throwing at the fence. Or into the net, really. And he said to me, what do you want? And I told him, I'm like, Unc, I want to buy my mama a house. And I was probably at the age of like 5 or 6. And for me, that's why I played all 3 sports. Because I'm like, one of these sports going to pay for mama house. One of these sports going to pay for mama house. One of these sports going to lead me to that ultimate goal. Lead me to that ultimate destination. One of these sports going to take care of my family for years to come. I was the one in my family who people knew was going to do that thing. Was going to go to the league, whether it was baseball, whether it was football. Those were my best sports. Basketball, jump shot was all right. It wasn't like that. You feel me? And basketball, boys, I was like, I ain't that. But that wasn't my passion. It was baseball and football. I played basketball really because it kept me busy and it kept me athletic enough and kept me in shape, for football season and for baseball season. So that's why I played basketball. And plus I played basketball because when I got to high school, a lot of my friends played basketball. When I got to middle school, a lot of my friends played basketball. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. But my 2 sports, my main bread and butter was baseball. The bread and butter was football. You feel me? And ultimately, when I got to high school, I had a coach, as far as baseball go, who really didn't believe in me. And he kind of, broke down my spirits a little bit. Because having that coach not believe in you in a sport that you've been playing and you've been groomed to play since you was a pup, it's hard, man. It's hard. I started off on a B team. And then he saw me pitch one game and put me on the A team. When he never saw me pitch but said I was a B team player. Bro, they tried to make me a pitcher only when I played third base, first base, and catcher, primarily. I got scholarship offers to play catcher when I was in middle school for high school. I would have been going to a private school for baseball. That's how good I was. My little league team, we were in the running for the World Series. You feel me? For the Little League World Series. My baseball team, we won the district. We were in the running. We could have been playing on TV. The same year, my last year playing, the Jackie Robinson team, they beat us and they kept going. They made it all the way down to Hawaii, I believe. I think that's where it was, if I'm not mistaken. But baseball was that sport for your boy. You feel me? But I'm saying all this to say, man, like sports was everything. So you have to understand, through my life's journey, and sports being everything, my life always evolved around sports. I never hung out a lot with my family. Like I hung out and I went to certain things, but like I miss family vacation. My family would be in Florida. My family would be out of the country in the Bahamas. And I'm sitting here sweating my ass off, training in a fucking field because that's how much I wanted it. Because I had a game the next week or I had a game the next day. Told mom, I'm not finna miss this game to come out there and vacation. What? No. Because in my head, nah, I'll vacation when I make it to the league. I'll vacation when mama, you're living in that house. You feel me? So for me, you got to understand that sports was everything. And when I got to high school and I had a coach who really didn't believe in me, it turned me off from baseball. And I started to put my focus on football. And football brought me so many blessings, but I was really that guy in baseball. To this day, that little league team that I'm telling you about, the district team, the team that my guy was on, me and him, we grew up playing. Me and him, we grew up playing on the same team. This is my brother, my dog. I knew him for most of my life. You feel me? This is my guy. You feel me? We grew up playing on the same team. His team beat us twice in the championship. The Blue Jays versus the Yankees. Believe it or not. I remember like they got these big ass trophies for kicking our ass because they won back to back. And this is my guy, my best friend. So when I tell you about baseball, our names, his name is included. Our names are still on my little league field for winning the district, for winning the little league, for being in the running for the Little League World Series. One day I'll show you how that. But I'm just telling you all this to tell you that was my journey. That was my story. That's what I wanted in my life. So whatever you want, whatever your journey has been up to this point, don't stop. Don't let a coach, don't let a mentor, don't let nobody steer you off from where you want to go and where you ultimately want to be. Keep going after that dream. Keep going after that goal. Keep going after what you want. If you're feeling in here, and if you keep feeling it, if your passion burning, don't ever let no one ever in life deter you away from going after what you truly want and what God has called you to do. Because your mom don't know what God called you to do. Your dad don't know what God called you to do. Only you know. But fast forward. All right, because let me put these pieces together. So in high school, football was that sport for me. Ultimately, I was a quarterback. But I never really got a fair chance. I was 6'2". I ain't gonna say I was Lamar Jackson, but you feel me? Boy, if I would have had a proper coach, if I would have got some proper guidance with even playing the quarterback position, another story for another day. But you gotta understand this, man. When I got to high school, I had my baseball coach, and I believe in me, tell me I was trying to be a pitcher only after I had scholarship offers to be a catcher and go to private schools. I had a football coach tell me that, nope, I can't be a quarterback because there was another quarterback who was a different race. But that's another story for another day. And he felt that he was better. Even though I had the height, I had the arm strength, I was a pitcher. A very fucking damn. If you're going to make me a pitcher only, that means you got to be somewhat pretty good, right? Even though I played first base, third base, and catcher. Even though I was in the running for the Little League World Series. Even though my name is on the back of my Little League baseball field. But anyway. Don't ever let a coach or anybody deter you away from going after what you truly want and what you've been groomed to do. Because that's what I let happen to me. So when I got to high school, I wanted to play quarterback. I wanted to be the next Tom Brady. That's why I wore number 12. But I had a coach who didn't ultimately believe in me. So instead of going after that dream to be a quarterback like I wanted to, like I was playing in Pop Warner, I was trying to be a quarterback. After I had a coach say, nah, son, if you really want a scholarship, go play safety. Oh, well, I do want a scholarship. but I thought I was going to be a quarterback. I thought I was going to be the next Brady. But it's okay. I'll go play safety. I'll be the quarterback of the defense. And that's ultimately why I've always said I was a quarterback of the defense. I always wanted to be a quarterback. That was my heart. That was in my heart. That was my passion, to be a quarterback. But in high school, I switched gears. And guess what? Me switching gears, going to safety, it ultimately got me a scholarship to a university called Marion University. To a university where I wore number 22, deuce, deuce. I used to wear number 12. And then I used to wear number 21 in high school because primetime Deion Sanders, that was my guy. But when I got to college, this number 22 ended up being very special to me. When I got to Marion University, when I got that scholarship offer to be a safety, that's how you know God had plans for me. I thought I was going to be quarterback. I thought I was going to be, the next Lamar Jackson, whoever. You feel me? Even though I'm older than Lamar Jackson, but that's another story for another day. But I thought I was going to be the next Brady. You feel me? But going to this university, Marion University, wearing number 22, the luckiest number in the land. I learned a lot. Me playing safety there, experiencing college football at a small school, it was nothing like it. It was nothing like it. I wouldn't take that experience back for anything because it taught me how to be a man. I learned how to be a man, stand on my own 2 feet when I was there. And ultimately, my passion, my drive when I got there, I put baseball down my senior year. I didn't want to play baseball anymore because I'm like, I got a scholarship to Marion University. I got a scholarship to Valpo. I got these scholarships for football. So what the hell am I still trying to play baseball for? Even though that was the first sport. Remember, that was the first sport, my first passion that I loved. But I had a coach drive me off from that sport. So don't ever let a coach drive you off from what's in here. But ultimately, I did. Ultimately, I had a coach tell me, you can't play quarterback. You got to go play safety. But God willing, he blessed me to go play safety. He blessed me to win number 22. He blessed me to go to a university where I became a man. I played in the national championship at that university, Marion University. And I cherish that. I cherish that small town, that small school. I cherish that. In a national championship game. Actually, let's backtrack. Before the national championship game, I caused a fumble for my team at Marion University to go to the national championship while playing safety. So I'm telling y'all, sometimes God, he works in mysterious ways. Sometimes God is going to lead you down certain paths, lead you down different journeys, but that journey is uniquely yours, and that journey might be for you. But what I'm telling you, don't let a coach or anybody to tear you away from what's in here, because if you truly feel it, if you truly want it, you can go get it. For me, I wish I would have believed in that dream to be a quarterback and do those things, but God had different plans for me. He still got different plans for me. So my time at Marion University, grateful, loved it. It was amazing. But I had bigger plans. I wanted to transfer. COVID happened. During a national championship game, I dislocated my shoulder and tore my labrum and still finished the game. I was the one who sent my team to the national championship. And then in that same national championship game, in the first quarter, the footage is online. You can go watch the national championship game, and you'll see me lingering around with my shoulder out of socket, out of place, because I dislocated and I tore my labrum. Still finished the game. Anyway, another story for another day. After that, I went through a very tough experience. I had my first surgery. And with me having that surgery, I had to realize, like, okay, where do I go from here? What's my next destination? What's next for me? You know, and ultimately, I decided to transfer from my NAIA school. I went to college at a small NAIA school called Marion University. And you got to understand, that's not a part of the NCAA. Marion University is not a part of the NCAA. It's not Division II, Division III, or Division I. It's its own entity. So yours truly had so much drive, so much passion that he was going to make it to the NFL, so much belief that he was going to buy his mama a house. that he went and told his coach, Coach, y'all canceled our season because of COVID. I know I can't miss a season. I want to get to the NFL. I've been wanting to get to the NFL since I was 5, since I told my mama I was going to buy her a house. But all while, imagine this being a little carrot. And I'm going to bring this analogy back up. Imagine this being a little carrot. And I was chasing the hell out that carrot. I was chasing the hell out of that dream of buying my mama a house. Trust me, mama got the house, but that's another story for another day. Anyway. So I told my coach, hey, coach, I'm going to transfer from an NAIA school. I couldn't even enter the transfer portal. But you know, I had so much drive, so much passion that what did I do? I said, Coach, I'm transferring. He said, what the hell you think you're doing? I said, Coach, well, y'all, y'all not really like, I'm damn near like I was on a scholarship, but y'all wasn't paying a lot of money for that scholarship. Like I had to still come out of my pocket a little bit. And my coach wasn't even trying to give me no more money to stay. He ain't even offer me any money to stay at Marion University. So guess what I did? I said, forgive me, Lord. I said, forget you. And I still proceeded to transfer. So from an NAIA school, from an NAIA school that has its own entity, that's not in Division I, Division II, or Division III, I had to transfer. I couldn't go to the transfer portal. No coaches knew my name. So you know what Mr. Wilson had to do? He had to dig and claw to get an opportunity at a university. Somewhere, somehow. So let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story that y'all don't know. Mr. Wilson, during that time when I decided to transfer, I was recovering from my shoulder surgery, from a dislocated shoulder, and a torn labrum. I was recovering. You got to understand, during that recovery, it was the toughest thing I ever went through in my life. But I made it through it. During that surgery and recovery, it's not surgery, excuse me, recovery, during that recovery, my grandma ended up being in the hospital. She almost lost her life. I had been kind of ostracized from Marion University, from my team, but the trainer, S.O. DeVerne, he still allowed me to train at the facility. S.O. to John Locke, he was giving me needle treatments, trying to eliminate my scars. They was allowing me during COVID, when everybody else was at home, everybody else was gone. I decided to still stay in Indianapolis. During COVID, I decided to stay there. After I decided to transfer and told my coach I was transferring, I decided to stay there and train and work. I was seeing my teammates go to practice and go to camp. But I was still had so much faith that God got bigger plans for me. God got something more in store for me. So I kept that belief. I kept that faith. And ultimately, during that time, with me not being in the transfer portal, you know what Mr. Wilson had to do? He had to wake up 3-4 o'clock in the morning every single day, sending thousands and thousands of emails. And I have the proof. And one day I'm going to show you. Maybe I can show you now. I sent thousands of emails to every coach, Division I, Division II, Division III, every coach that I can think of, every email that I can find online, waking up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning and sending them those emails, because you know why? Mr. Wilson found the cheat code. Mr. Wilson said, damn, these coaches wake up just like everybody else. These coaches are human just like me. And what is a human in the 21st century, in today's age, what do they do when they first wake up? They check this goddamn phone. So I realized that. I saw that, you know, I got to get up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning while I'm recovering from surgery, while I'm still fighting and trying to get a chance at another university. I got to wake up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning and sending these coaches these emails, Division I coaches, Division II coaches. I got to send them these emails at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning because that's the only way that they going to potentially look at their phone, look at their email, and see a random email from Mr. Wilson saying, hey, can I go to your school? Can I transfer? Can I grad transfer? I have my degree. I got this. I had to do that. I had to sacrifice sleep. I had to sacrifice my recovery. To wake up and send emails 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning to these coaches. And I will show you proof one of these days. I got the email still on my phone. I had to wake up and sacrifice to send these emails to all these coaches around the country just to give myself a chance coming from an NAIA school, not knowing any real Division I coaches or any real Division II coach. You got to understand, I'm from Chicago. I ain't from Indianapolis. And then also I'm from an NAIA school. I ain't in the transfer portal. I was climbing an uphill battle, dog. But I had so much belief in myself and in the journey that God laid out for me. I knew that I was going to one day buy my mama that house. So I'm waking up at 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, sending these emails to all these coaches, recovering, training every day from a torn labrum and a dislocated shoulder that I suffered in the national championship game at my NAIA school. I'm doing all these things because I had that much belief in myself that Mr. Wilson, hey, you're going to get to where you want to get to. You're going to make it. You got to be a little crazy to chase after your dreams. Mr. Wilson, he crazy as hell. Anyway, let me continue. I'm gonna kind of sum this up. I don't want to make this podcast too long. I don't want to make, this segment too long because I do want to touch on Shedeur Sanders. And if you're here for Shedeur Sanders, hey, just give me a little longer. Let me finish this story. But understand, I had so much belief in myself that I was willing to sacrifice everything, to give up me being a preseason All-American at Marion University, to give up me having a season where I could have been All-American at Marion University, having a season and leaving my friends that I've grown into a man around these guys, the friends that I loved, a place that I never even wanted to leave in the first place. But I had that belief in myself that COVID canceled my season. I can't sit around. So guess what, Mr. Wilson, ultimately, fast forward, I want to say probably late July, early August, I get an email. I finally get an email back. Wow. Finally get an email back. And it was from the University of Texas. I ain't never disclosed that information to anybody, but I have the text messages and I have the emails to prove it. I got an email from the University of Texas asking, hey, we need an outside linebacker. Hey, we need a strong safety who can potentially play outside linebacker, but you can still play safety. I got an email from the University of Texas from me emailing people and coaches at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I got an email from the University of Texas, Division I, the Longhorns. And I got emails and text messages to prove it. And you can fact check it if you want to. I never disclosed that information. I was going to be a goddamn Longhorn. But you know what happened? Since Mr. Wilson didn't take care of his obligations at Marion University as a student athlete, just because I didn't officially get my degree, those good people at the University of Texas, said, if you come to our school, you will have to start all the way over with your degree. If you come to our school, it's a chance that we won't be able to give you a degree, but you can still come here, but you will have to start all the way over. If you come to our school, we'll put you on a flight in the next week or so. I got the text message to prove it. They was going to put me on a flight and fly me all the way to Texas. But I had to sit back and say, damn, God, is this you? Is this the opportunity that I've been waiting for to go play for the goddamn Texas Longhorns? I had to really take a step back and say, God, do you want me to go play for the goddamn Texas Longhorns and lose my because transcripts, how it works is if you at a private institution or a private school that's not really public, if you try to transfer some of those credits, all those credits won't transfer. And at the time, I was going to end up getting my degree in December, but I haven't got my degree yet. They thought since I advertised in my emails I was a grad transfer. So with me potentially being a grad transfer, they assumed that I already had my degree. But after doing some digging, after doing the homework, they said, son, you're a semester you literally 1-2 credits away from getting your degree out there, son. You can come play for the Texas Longhorns this year. But if you come, you will have to start all the way over. You might not end up getting that degree here, son. You don't have a chance to go play in the NFL. We're going to build you up into that guy. But you might not be able to go and finish that degree, son. So, in the mix of my grandma being in the hospital, in the mix of me leaving my team while I potentially could have been an All-American my last two seasons there, or last 2 seasons, in the midst of me almost getting my degree from Marion University, I had to make a decision. Do I stay at Marion University and finish this degree? Or do I roll the fucking dice and go buy my mama a house and go play for the Texas goddamn Longhorns? And I got text messages to prove it. I got emails to prove it. I got phone conversations to prove it. Just throwing it out there just in case y'all don't believe Mr. Wilson. So Mr. Wilson ultimately made the decision that I ain't going to go. I turned down a Division I opportunity. And those people who were there convinced me, son, I know this is your dream. Strangers who didn't know me from a fucking can of paint. Strangers who needed a safety, needed an outside linebacker to come to their school. Strangers said, son, if you come to our school, that degree, those credits, they ain't transferring. You're going to have to start all the way over. It's a chance that you can come out here, you can get injured playing against Division I players. And so I had to make a tough-ass decision to turn down a Division I opportunity. My first offer, the first coach, the first people to reach out to me finally. After months of sending emails at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. After months later of still training, still hoping for an opportunity. And you can fact check and you can ask John Locke and you can ask Vern. I was about to be a fucking Texas Longhorn. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'll use it on sweat, but y'all know I'm passionate. I was about to be a Texas Longhorn, dog. But I said, no, I'm going to finish my degree and I'm going to graduate in December. And I pray to God and I'm going to hope. I'm going to keep waking up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, while still training. Sending these emails to every coach in the nation. And then came that December. Mr. Wilson, after having faith, trusting those people who didn't know me from a can of paint, saying, son, finish your degree. Guess who came calling? Dun, 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 dun. Motherfucking Arkansas University. Don't tell me what God won't do for you. Don't tell me God ain't real. I turned down a Division I opportunity. Months before this even came into the picture. Months before I even got another email back after Texas offered me. You got to understand, it's the season. So August, September, October, November went by. I'm still sending emails to every coach in the country. But they're in season. So I'm only getting, the recruiting department. Nobody was getting back to me. I'm not even in the NCAA portal. I'm not even in the NCAA portal. Division I football players during this COVID time, they were playing. They already worried about COVID. They worried about this. You think they were worried about Mr. Wilson sending them emails? No, they weren't. I went from having the opportunity to potentially play for the Texas Longhorns, Division I, in August, to not hearing anything back from any coaches. In September, October, November, up until all damn near December, when I finally got a coach to reach out to me from Arkansas University. And when that coach reached out to me, guess what? Other coaches started reaching out. I could have damn near walked on at IU. I could have walked on at Ball State and a few other schools. Because then we out of season now. Now coaches are starting to get back to me. Well, shit, we need this. We need this. Yeah, you're an NAI player, but yeah. And then I had another coach from Marion University, SO to Coach Tutsi. He was starting to help me out. And he helped me out through the whole process. So Coach Tutsi, SO to you, because you got the best heart I've ever encountered. One of them. Coach Tutsi, SO to you, because you the one who kept me having that belief. Because you started reaching out to coaches for me too. And I owe you a lot for that. I had other opportunities, but then I got a call. I got a FaceTime call on a random Saturday or whatever it was from the defensive back coach at Arkansas University. Hey, son, this is coach from Arkansas University. We want you. I looked at your tape. I looked at your film, and yeah, you got to come down here. We only got a walk-on position for you though. I'm like, walk-on position. But that's Arkansas University. That's the SEC. The SEC, if you don't know, and if you don't have no clue, the SEC is basically the NFL. That's where the most NFL players come from. A majority of the NFL players that's playing in the National Football League today come from the SEC. So guess what Mr. Wilson said? This is a goddamn fucking SEC calling me. For a walk-on position? Fuck it. I'll roll the dice. And guess what Mr. Wilson did? He rolled the dice. So I'm just telling you, you got to have faith in anything that you want in this life. You got to have some type of belief in it in anything that you want in this life. Because without faith and without belief, you won't get far in this life. You won't. But Mr. Wilson had faith. So from that decision, because you got to understand, I tore my labrum in the national championship game in December. So I was recovering from my surgery from January all the way up until December when I got that FaceTime call from the coach at Arkansas. So in order for me to get my dream of playing at another school, in order for me to trust that belief that I had when I decided to tell my coach that I was going to transfer during the summer of, 2020? During the summer of 2020, when I told my coach that I was going to transfer, I had to have the utmost faith and the utmost belief in myself that, hey, this is going to work out. Hey, that this is going to be okay. So you got to understand, don't let your journey be compared to others. If you believe in what you believe in, trust it and go fucking forward. Because I just told you a whole bunch of things that happened for me that only God could have did. I'm not in the transfer portal. So how am I getting a FaceTime call from a coach at the University of Arkansas? Because I was sending emails. The coach who recruited me, who gave my number, the recruiting director at Arkansas University, gave my number to the defensive back coach after he watched my film. He told him to call me. And that same recruiter said, I got your email at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So do y'all understand? When Mr. Wilson believes in something, oh, he believes. But that's what I'm telling you. You got to believe in yourself like no other, dog. Like no other. Like no other. You gotta believe in yourself like it's all on you. Because it is all on you. If you want what you say you want, you got to go after it and you got to really want it. You got to really want it. So understand, man. Understand. And I know y'all commenting. I know y'all release. I'm going to get back to the comments here later. I'm going to answer y'all questions. I'm going to get to the comments and all that here in a second. But I just got to finish the story. And then Shedeur Sanders, hey, just wait till I start talking about Shador, because that's, boy, y'all think I'm passionate about this? Oh, you ain't seen nothing. But anyway, getting to my story, finishing it. When I got to Arkansas University, you got to understand, I was an NAI athlete. I had to pay money out of my pocket to get shirts and to get a player's package at Marion University. I went to a University of Arkansas, Division I, the SEC, the cream of the crop. Well, I didn't have to pay for nothing. They gave me They gave me food after every workout to take home during spring ball. They gave me a shake with my own name on it after every workout at Arkansas. They gave me, little old me, a card to go to Chipotle, to go to Jimmy John's, to go to Firehouse Subs. So I went from Marion University, where I got to pay out of my own pocket for some of these things, to going to a school where I was a walk-on in the SEC at Arkansas, where I didn't have to pay for anything. They gave me free cleats, free gloves every day during practice. Before practice, if I wanted some gloves, I wanted some cleats, I could have just went to the store and say, hey, can I get those the cleats that you gave me yesterday? I ain't really like those. Can you give me that other pair of cleats? Yeah, those gloves, I need another pair of gloves, because those gloves, they really wasn't really rocking for me. So when I tell you, you got to have belief in this world and God to come through for you, tell me what he won't do. But now you got to understand, coming from an NAIA school, Marion University, going to a Division I school, Arkansas, two different worlds. Two different worlds. I was culture shocked by what I saw at Arkansas. From the women to the football team to the... Wow. Just that whole experience. And just to show you, is this they don't give this just to anybody, right? This is Arkansas, Darrell Wilson, Marion University, Warrenville, Illinois, Razorback. This is one of the last things Arkansas gave me. They put this on my locker right before the spring game that I didn't play in, because Mr. Wilson had to sit back and examine his life. So I just told you about how much I love sports. I just told you how much faith I had in how much belief, not faith, how much belief I had in myself to make it to Arkansas University, to go Division I. From an NAIA school to go Division I. That kid who wanted to buy his mama a house. You got to understand, man. That's every kid's dream. To go to Arkansas University. I could have sat on the bench and would have got so much love at Arkansas University. In the SEC, I was going to get my NFL shot. I'm 6'2", hands measured at 10.5 inches. I weighed at 210 at Arkansas. I was going to get an NFL opportunity. Trust me on that. The Green Bay Packers, the Saints, and other schools came in. Who is this kid? Y'all just got him on your roster? Who? What? He's 6'2", 210, hands measured at 10.5 inches. There's that carrot again. There's that carrot. Hey, Mr. Wilson, you in the SEC now. You Division I. Go get the carrot now. So understand, Mr. Wilson, he been like that. Mr. Wilson been passionate. Mr. Wilson been one. You gotta call me because I know she cooked today Sunday. She in town, so you know she cooked a nice little meal, you know, before she leave and go back out of town. That's a blessing. But anyway, I'm gonna call you back, Ma. But anyway, at Arkansas University, I had everything that I ever wanted. They gave me everything that I ever wanted. I just told you I was taking home Gatorade, boxes of Gatorade, protein drinks that they just had in the fridge. They had a barbershop. They had a studio, ping pong tables, flat screen TVs. They had a barbershop in the locker room, cold tub, the SEC, Arkansas University. I got everything I hoped and prayed for. Everything that I worked for. Everything that when that coach told me, when I told him I was transferred from Marion University, he said, so, we don't need you. But I had that much belief in myself that I was going to make it. I had that much belief in myself that I was going to get the job done. I had that much belief in myself that I was going to go out there to Arkansas and do the damn thing. And if you really want to fact check me, type in Darrell Wilson, Arkansas University online and see what the fuck you see. Oh, excuse my French. And tell me what you see. Sorry, y'all. Tell me what you see when you type in Darrell Wilson at Arkansas University. What is the first thing that you see? My video from me transferring in. I'm a walk-on. Why am I doing interviews if I'm a walk-on? Because I was him. When I was at Arkansas, I was sitting on a bench, dog, behind a goddamn freshman and some more people. I'm like, I ain't come to Arkansas and leave a school where I was finna be a preseason All-American and I was finna be an All-American in my final season to come out here to Arkansas and sit behind a freshman who just got in here, who was literally, the boy just got out of high school. And they had me sitting behind him. I was like, politics though. So when I got to Arkansas, I got everything I ever wanted. But when it came down to the football field, they were playing politics. That's why I can relate to Shedeur Sanders. But we'll get to Shedeur Sanders here in a bit. I can relate to Shedeur Sanders because everything that he going through, I went through at Arkansas. Who the hell is this grad? Who the hell is this walk-on doing interviews? And some more stuff. Who is this walk-on? Who is this guy? I was him, and I've been him. But at Arkansas, my life, I had to put it in perspective. For Mr. Wilson, my mama, she gonna get that house. That house is, little do y'all know, boy. Mama got the house. I can't say too much on here. Mama got the house. Mama got her house. But when I got to Arkansas, when a boy who's only every kid who plays 3 sports, what is your dream? To play Division I football. So Mr. Wilson got his dream to play Division I football. Did he not? I got everything I wanted. I was able to go to get cleats and gloves. I was taking home Gatorade, shakes for free every day. In the SEC, they give you everything as a walk-on. But when it came to that field, they wasn't playing me. When it came to that field, I'm like, dog, I just sent my team to the goddamn national championship. And you got me sitting behind a freshman who just graduated out of high school? There they go dangling that carrot. But Mr. Wilson, you Division I now. Mr. Wilson, you can sit on the bench and just go to the pro day. Mr. Wilson had a plan that he was just going to sit on the bench if they didn't want to play him. And he was going to go to the pro day, and at least I have my pro day. So then when the scouts come to the pro day, you got to understand, I was there when Treylon Burks, who's playing for the Tennessee Titans, was there. I practiced against Treylon Burks. Type in his name on Google for me real quick. He went first round. Mr. Wilson could have sat on the bench, been quiet, had a pro day, and at least would have been in an NFL camp. And you can't tell me I wouldn't have. We had a first-round draft pick. We had multiple players go on to mini camps. We had a few players drafted in that draft. I was a walk-on, dog. I could have sat on the bench the whole year. And they told me that. And I still could have had a pro day. They said, even if you don't play, dog, you're going to still have a pro day here, Mr. Wilson. But I'm like, dog, I ain't come out here to be no goddamn scrub. I know the ability that God gets me with. I just sent my team to the national championship. And now I'm bigger, faster, and stronger. After recovering from a surgery. Come on, dog. I got everything I ever wanted. Played 3 sports. Now I'm Division I. And y'all got me sitting behind a goddamn freshman who just, boy, he fresh meat. He just got out of high school. You know when you're a top recruit, if you don't know this, when you're a top recruit coming out of high school, you can enter the school in the spring semester. So that way you can brush up on everything. And you can get acclimated for the spring and the fall season. So that way you come in the spring, you graduate early, you come in the spring, you start college early. Boom, boom, boom. If you don't know, now you know. I was sitting behind a freshman, and I saw that as disrespectful because I could have been All-American at Marion University. I could have had still an NFL shot at Marion University. I still could have had – we had multiple people, SO to Brandon Dillon, SO to Krishan Hogan, the NFL players from Marion University that made it to the NFL, that made active NFL rosters. So I could have stayed at Marion University and still had an NFL chance if I'm being real. And if you don't know, fact check that because, yes, Krishan Hogan, SO to you, dog. You on your life journey, you inspired the hell out of me. Brandon Dillon, SO to you, you on your life journey, you inspired the hell out of me, dog. SO to the people from Marion University that inspired me. Because you got to understand, Mr. Wilson could have sat at Marion University. Been an All-American, been a preseason All-American. I could have sat at Marion University, but I had so much belief in myself. I had so much belief that I was going to buy my mama that house. I had to go off to Arkansas and make it to the SEC. And God made that happen. And you can't tell me he did. So now I'm telling you, why did Mr. Wilson decide to leave college football? They had me sitting behind a freshman who was fresh meat that just got in the building. I could have did a lot of things better. My performance when I first got there, you got to understand, I just recovered from a surgery. You got to understand, I haven't seen no real action since the national championship game back in 2019. Now I just missed the whole season of football in 2020 because COVID canceled my season. I didn't go off the Texas Longhorns and play when they offered me a position, when they offered me a shot to play at Texas, in Texas. I decided to wait a whole year, didn't play football for a whole year. Now I'm at Arkansas in the spring. So for those of you out there, Mr. Wilson did not get cut. Mr. Wilson did not get kicked off the team. Mr. Wilson got everything he ever wanted at Arkansas University as an athlete. And I decided to walk away. Because I know my ability. And just like Shedeur Sanders, what Shedeur Sanders is going through, I experienced that same thing at Arkansas. But hindsight is 2020. Because at Arkansas, what I couldn't see, and this is why I'm telling all you young people, if you dream something, believe in your dream. Because at Arkansas University, what I couldn't see, they were grooming me and preparing me. I had to sit back because I was a walk-on. They didn't have to give me nothing. Mr. Wilson left prematurely from Arkansas. And that is something that Mr. Wilson has to live with. But that's why Mr. Wilson is going to be successful in something else because my journey is far from over. And God has a plan for me. Mr. Wilson got everything that he ever wanted at Arkansas University. But he decided to walk away because I felt disrespected sitting on a bench behind a freshman that just got there. I felt disrespected by sitting on a bench every single day, not getting any reps. Not getting any reps at Arkansas University. All spring, not getting any reps. I left before my spring game. In life, y'all, if y'all take anything from me, finish what you start. The coach who recruited me at Arkansas, always finish what you start. Because to be quite honest with you, I was doing so well at Arkansas before I started to leave. I was letting my circumstances bring me down because I wasn't playing. I just left a school where I could have been an All-American. I just left a school where I could have had everything that I ever wanted. I could have been an All-American. I still could have had an NFL shot at Marion University. I left that school, but I came to Arkansas, and I'm sitting here in the spring playing behind a freshman that just got there. And not saying that I was still working. I still had things to do. I wasn't that good at Arkansas. You got to understand, going from the NAIA to Division I and the SEC, that's a huge jump. A huge jump. So I'm not saying that I was the best person out there. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying I deserved some opportunities, but I just wasn't getting them in the spring. But Mr. Wilson left prematurely. Mr. Wilson should have played in that spring game. Mr. Wilson should have never left and said, you know what? The most important things in Mr. Wilson, and the biggest reason why I left Arkansas is because I want a family, I want a wife, and I want kids, and I want to be present in their lives. I wanted a family, I want a wife, I want kids, and I want to be present in their lives. And while I was at Arkansas, the person that I was turning into, I didn't like that person. I was selfish. I was becoming selfish. I was becoming too much driven. After getting everything that I ever wanted, I was too much focused on the carrot, dog. And then you got to understand, I wasn't playing. I'm playing behind a freshman. I was going through so many different emotions when I got to Arkansas. So many different emotions. I'm just left the school. I'm a starter. I'm finna be a preseason All-American. I'm finna be All-American. I'm finna have my NFL shot. I'm the man on campus. Now I'm going to Arkansas. I'm a walk-on. I'm back at the bottom. But this is why you never stop on your journey. Always see everything through. Because Mr. Wilson should have stayed at Arkansas. Mr. Wilson should have got that championship ring that Arkansas got that year. But I left prematurely. But I'm just saying all these things to say, like, now y'all see the journey. Now you hear the story from a kid from Chicago, Illinois. Maywood, to be exact. Maywood, Bellwood. Pop Warner product. He got everything he ever wanted. And he battled with deep thoughts when he was at Arkansas. Had survivor's remorse to the utmost when I was at Arkansas. I had survivor's remorse so much at Arkansas. Wasn't talking to my dad. Wasn't talking to anybody. I cut off everybody. I was selfish. I was self-centered. I didn't like the man that I was becoming at Arkansas. Because the man that I was becoming at Arkansas, he would have made it to the NFL. He would have got everything he ever wanted, but at what expense? The expense of not talking to my dad? The expense of me being diminished and feeling like I don't mean anything because I'm sitting on the bench behind a freshman? But hindsight is 2020 now. Because I should have stayed at Arkansas. I should have saw it all the way through. Because who knows? Somebody could have got injured. Anything could have happened. I would have eventually got my chance to play at Arkansas. And I know that truly. I know that. But I left prematurely. I didn't see it all the way through. But I hope that this story helps one of you. Whether you see the story of my belief going and believing in myself from leaving the NAIA school and getting the opportunity to go Division I and play at Arkansas University, to me being a kid just wanting to buy my mama a house playing baseball, but letting the coach tell me that I'm a pitcher only and not believing in myself and not at least forcing his hand to play me at other positions, to another coach on the coach of the head coach of the football team telling me he doesn't like the way I throw, so I can't play quarterback. Dog, I done been through it all. Now I'm just telling y'all my full story. And I still haven't told you everything. Because before the national championship season, before that season, I lost this guy, my best friend. So you got to understand, Mr. Wilson been through some things. And Mr. Wilson overcame a lot. That's why before this video, before I got on this story, I told y'all about life's journey. Because life's journey is a beautiful one. Life's journey is everything. Life's journey is amazing. Life's journey for Mr. Wilson is amazing. Because God is so good and he's been so good to me. So if you don't believe in God, I hope after this conversation, after you watch this video, I hope you do. I hope you pray. I hope you have belief. And I hope you go after your dreams and your goals and never let anybody tell you not. You understand me? This is Mr. Wilson's almost complete story. But we ain't done yet. I got a lot of holes in between there that I didn't tell you about. But now, everything's together. I didn't like the person that I was becoming at Arkansas. I didn't like the person I was becoming at Arkansas. I was even seeing a therapist from all the things that I've been through in my life. The things that I was struggling with when I had survivor's remorse, when I got to Arkansas. Why God blessed me with a Division I opportunity. The Lord, for you not know the plans that I have for you, but God will continue to lead your steps. I messed up that Bible scripture so bad. But trust the Lord, man. Trust God. Mr. Wilson has gotten this far because he trusted the big man upstairs. Moral of the story. If you want to know more, I'll tell you more. All right. But man, oh man. Now let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. All right. But more of that story is, fellas, women, ladies out there, if you have a journey, don't ever cut it short. If you believe in something, don't ever stop believing. Because Mr. Wilson should be in the NFL right now. Mr. Wilson should have kept his faith in God, in the Lord. But that's not what God's plan was for me. Because if God's plan was for me to be in the NFL, when I went to another school after I left Arkansas, I would have had that same draft burning, and I would have kept trying to go after that carrot of making it to the NFL. Oh, y'all. I would have kept going after that carrot of trying to make it to the NFL. But I was burnt out. When I got to Arkansas, when I wasn't playing, after leaving the school, when I was the big man on campus, finna be a preseason All-American, finna be All-American, I was burnt out, man. And at Arkansas, I sat back. I'm like, my family don't need me to make it to the NFL. My family gonna be okay. My mom, she gonna get her house regardless, whether I make it to the NFL or not. So through my life's journey, understand this, my journey is different from yours. I don't know what your journey is going to look like. I don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. I don't know where you're going to be a week from now, a year from now, 20 years from now. But what I do know is that you better trust God. What I do know is that you better believe in yourself like no other. You better be so much, you better have so much belief in yourself that nobody can tell you that you not going to get what you want. Because you believe. I believed in myself. But it was a moment in time in Arkansas before I left, I stopped believing in myself. Never stop believing in yourself, man. Thank God for Marion University. Thank God for Arkansas and my experiences at both universities. Thank God for that. I thank God for that. I thank God for those experiences. Because it's because of those experiences that I had at Marion University, those experiences that I had at Arkansas, that I'm standing in front of you now, being able to tell my story. So that way, maybe it helps you. Maybe something in my story, well, whatever it is going to help you. But that's Mr. Wilson's story. A little bit of it. Because the journey is far from over. But now, I think I told y'all enough about my football journey. All right? So, the topic that everybody's been waiting on. An hour and some change later. Shedeur Sanders. My message to the Cleveland Browns. Release him. Please. Y'all clearly don't want to see him win. Yesterday, Mr. Wilson went on a very, very emotional tangent. And if I would have got on this podcast yesterday, man, y'all probably wouldn't have got the full story about my sports journey and my athletic career. Y'all probably wouldn't have got the full story of, embracing your journey and God's journey and things of that nature. Y'all probably wouldn't have got the full story. I'm just saying. Yesterday, I was very emotional after what I saw how the NFL, or what I saw from the Cleveland Browns and how they treated Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, I hope that you get traded. I hope that you get traded. Because Shedeur Sanders, he didn't even get any first-team reps, man. How do you go from getting no first-team reps? How do y'all think the Cleveland Browns believe in Shedeur Sanders when he ain't took a snap with the first team since he's gotten drafted, since he's been in their building? Shedeur Sanders is not getting a fair shot in Cleveland, man. And even a blind man can see that. Shedeur Sanders, dog, message to you, bruh. Don't let them break your spirits, man. Don't let them break you. Don't give them the satisfaction. And I know you're not, because your dad Your dad, the man that gave you birth, he was my biggest inspiration for playing football. He was the reason why I wore number 21 in high school. 21 reasons why, baby. Primetime Deion Sanders. He was the reason why when my coach told me, Mr. Wilson, you can't play quarterback. But you know what? Okay, Deion Sanders played defensive back. So, hey, instead of being Tom Brady, now I want to be Deion Primetime Sanders. Oh, the story's so poetic, ain't it, y'all? So, Shedeur Sanders, brother, I ain't been through exactly what you've been through or what you're going through, because when I was at Arkansas, that wasn't the NFL, but it was close to it. Shedeur Sanders, dog. Shedeur Sanders. You're going to be okay. Because Shedeur Sanders, guess what I know? I know that you haven't gotten any first team reps. I know that in that first preseason game that you played in, though they wasn't expecting you to do as well as you did. You proved the whole world wrong. From you looking out the progressions, you looking off the safety, because I play safety and I know how to look off of safety, because I know in the national championship game that I played in way back when, I had a quarterback look me off. Dog, my football IQ is fucking immaculate. So Shedeur Sanders, I understand what you're going through, my brother. Shedeur Sanders, you got to understand, man. God got bigger plans for you, baby. Your favorite player is Tom Brady, Shedeur. Guess who my favorite player is? That boy Tom Brady. Your dad is Deion Sanders. Guess who one of my favorite players was, and my mentor from a distance was Deion Sanders. So Shedeur Sanders, boy, you gonna be just fine, dog. You gonna be just fine, baby. But imagine with Shedeur Sanders, man, not getting any first team reps, just like I didn't. I didn't get no first team. I didn't get second team. I was out there playing with the fifth and sixth stringers when I was at Arkansas. So Shedeur Sanders, I understand how you're feeling, baby. Shedeur Sanders, I understand how you feeling, bro. But don't let them break you. Because at Arkansas, they broke me, man. They won. Because I didn't get kicked off. I walked away. But I walked away for bigger reasons, because I didn't like the person that I was turning into, because I wanted the NFL that bad. And I knew my ultimate goals for my life was me having a wife, kids, and a family. And if I didn't make it to the NFL, that didn't mean that I wasn't going to get those three things. And just because I made it to the NFL, that didn't mean that I wasn't going to buy my mama a house. So Shedeur Sanders, don't let them break you, dog. Because I was broken. But now I'm healed, baby. So the whole world, y'all know now my story. So if, yes, y'all came here for Shedeur Sanders, but go ahead, we'll wind this video back and listen to Mr. Wilson's story, and you'll understand. But speaking on Shedeur, though, let me stay on Shedeur. My bad, y'all. Let me stay on Shedeur. Shedeur, I understand that when you played in that first preseason game, Shedeur, you had two quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel, just happened to have hamstring injuries a day or two before your first preseason game, after you didn't get no reps with the first team or second team. Shedeur Sanders, you went out there with the second team and did your motherfucking thing that first preseason game, and it shocked all their ass. With no reps, Shedeur Sanders, I saw and I see that you practicing with the goddamn equipment managers before the game and after the game. Because that's what I did at Arkansas. I was out there on Saturdays and Sundays with no fucking body out there going over shit on cans. Having to play with the equipment managers and shit because they didn't believe in me or they didn't want to give me a chance. But in hindsight, it's 2020. They would have gave me a chance in the spring, because in the spring, they would have had no other choice but to give Mr. Wilson a chance. But I didn't see that through. But that's another story for another day. But Shedeur, I know you out there playing with the equipment managers, dog, before and after practice. I know Shedeur Sanders, you the first one in and the last one out, because that's how you was raised. Because that's what I learned from Deion Sanders. But Mr. Wilson, I'm a little late to some things, so I ain't learned that all the way from Deion Sanders. But Shador, you his son, so I know he taught you well. And you a quarterback. I know you the first one in, last one out. But Shador, you the first one in, last one out, and they still ain't giving you no first team reps. Shedeur Sanders, after what you did in that first preseason game when they wanted to set you up for failure with Kenny Pickett, because Joe Flacco wasn't going to play in that first preseason game regardless. But when they said Dylan Gabriel got a hamstring injury, Kenny Pickett got a hamstring injury, y'all motherfuckers don't even get touched during practice. I know if you can't get touched at a Division I school in Arkansas, if you touch the quarterback, you get sent home for the day. I know in the NFL, they ain't touching these quarterbacks during practice. And then it's the first week of preseason. Dog, who the hell is y'all fooling? Who are y'all fooling, NFL? Cleveland Browns? Who are y'all fooling? Y'all set up Shador for failure the first game. But he went out there and balled with the second teamers, the players who actually are going to be on the team. But I'm going to get there. Hold on. I'm going to keep this short, y'all, because I don't want to keep y'all here for too long. But, man, it is what it is. But Shador, the play, I thank God that you didn't play in that second preseason game. You got that oblique injury. Wink, wink. Shedeur Sanders, I know I thank God that you ain't playing that second preseason game, because guess what they had to do? Dylan Gabriel had to magically become healthy again, right? You just had a hamstring injury last week, but now you magically healthy to start in the second game. Everybody saying Dylan Gabriel looks great. Yeah, you look great, because if y'all don't know how football works, let me put on my football IQ hat real quick. The first 15 to 20 plays in the offense are scripted. The first 15 to 20 plays, maybe more, especially in the preseason, are scripted. So Dylan Gabriel, in the second preseason game, you know why he looked so good? And then he started throwing a pick six, and then he had a fumble? Is because, those first couple of drives, quick hits. Dylan Gabriel, Dylan Gabriel, you got an arm, dog. Dylan Gabriel, I'm not saying you not him. I'm not saying you not good. You just not better than Shedeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel, you ain't, and Kevin Stefanski, you ain't fooling nobody. Dog, you look good that second preseason game, the first couple series, because it's scripted. Because your coach tells you the first 15 to 20 plays that you're going to run before you go out there and you run those 15 to 20 plays. But then, you see, when you start throwing an interception, you get off script and it's not scripted anymore. You throw an interception. You have a fumble. Make it make sense. Mr. Wilson was not born yesterday. Mr. Wilson's football IQ is very high. I had an opportunity to play for the Texas Longhorns and at Arkansas University. Stop playing with me, dog. I know my football. Mr. Wilson, I played safety, dog. I knew what everybody was doing on the defense. I was the quarterback for the defense. I know football. Another story for another day, though. Let's continue with Shedeur Sanders. So, fast forward to the game yesterday. Joe Flacco comes out. He goes 9 for 10. Joe Flacco comes out, plays majority of the first quarter. Why are we seeing a 40-year-old Joe Flacco play? When y'all saw what he did a couple years ago when he was at Cleveland, when he led them on that 5-game winning streak, when he took them to the playoffs, then sucked it up when he got to the first round of the playoffs, threw interceptions and had fumbles. Couple years ago. Then last year when Joe Flacco was playing for the Indianapolis Colts, he was ass. I lived in Indianapolis for damn near 4.5 years. You don't think I still watch the Indianapolis Colts games? Joe Flacco, you're ass. You were garbage last year playing for the Indianapolis Colts. You're old. You're slow. You know what the announcer said yesterday, just making fun of things? The announcer said yesterday that Joe Flacco kids didn't even believe that he was a starter. The announcer said Joe Flacco told them that, yeah, I had to tell my kids that I was a starter, and they didn't even believe me until they saw it come out on their TikTok. They saw it come out on the news. Even your kids know that you shouldn't be no goddamn quarterback, dog. You should be fucking taking care of them, taking them to school, fucking hanging out with your wife, retired. Don't get me wrong, Joe. Get your money, Joe. But, Joe, let's look at your contract. You got incentives for being on a roster. You got incentives for playing in so many games during the regular season. Incentives not really supposed to hit for a quarterback until you get to the postseason. Why do you have incentive? Anyway, I'm not even going to get off topic like that. Going back to the game yesterday. Joe Flacco, you went 9 for 10 because the first 10 plays were scripted. You went 9 for 10. Did the LA Rams, you know what the LA Rams did yesterday? The LA Rams only traveled 48 players. The LA Rams didn't play not one of their starters. The LA Rams played their second team and third team players majority of the game, at least on defense. The LA Rams kept majority of their starters at home. The LA Rams played their second team and third team for most of the game. And then when Shedeur Sanders came in, guess what kind of who was playing on the LA Rams defense when Shedeur Sanders came in? Do you think it was a second team, third team, or fourth team? It was their second team when Shedeur Sanders came in. Fact check it. Look it up. Anyway, another story for another day. Let's continue. Dylan Gabriel, when you came in, Kevin Stefanski getting you in rhythm. Kevin Stefanski ain't giving you 10 and 15-yard routes like he gave Shedeur Sanders. Routes that have to develop. Kevin Stefanski let you go out there with the second team. Kevin Stefanski scripted your first 10 to 15 plays. That's why you look so good. And that's why you kind of missed some throws too. So you ain't look all that good yesterday. You looked the hype. Your plays were scripted, dog. Joe Flacco, your plays are scripted. Y'all going against LA Rams second team. They ain't even playing not one starter. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting passionate. If my voice, my mic is going crazy, my bad, y'all. But as y'all can see, I'm very passionate about this because I've been through what Shedeur Sanders is going through. I just ain't do it at the NFL level. But the SEC is the next closest thing to the NFL, is it not? I'll wait. Where do most of the NFL players come from? I'll wait. Oh, okay. But Mr. Wilson don't know what he's talking about. Really don't know what he's talking about. Maine don't know what he's talking about. Stop playing with me, dog. I know my football. That's the one thing. I played football from the age of 7 all the way up until a couple years ago when I stopped playing at Arkansas. And even after I left Arkansas, even after Mr. Wilson left playing at Arkansas University, he went to another school, but that's another story. We ain't going to talk about that school. We ain't got to talk about that. That's another story for another day. But anyway, back to Shedeur Sanders. How come Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, they look so good in the first half, and then they getting into rhythm, they getting short throws. Running game is going well. But then when Shedeur Sanders gets in, I see wide receivers wearing the number 30. Who the hell, what kind of wide receiver wears the number 30? Please type in Google and show me one NFL player playing in the NFL right now wearing number 30. That's actually on the 53-man roster for an NFL team. Shedeur Sanders in that third quarter, in that fourth quarter. Shedeur, you didn't play well yesterday. Shedeur Sanders, you did not play well yesterday. You didn't. Because there was a couple times where you took sacks. Bro, just throw the ball away. But Shedeur Sanders, you know why I respect why you didn't throw the ball away? Because you were a fucking competitor. Because you wanted to put on a show for them fans who was wearing number 12. Because you wanted to put on a show for them fucking coaches who don't even believe in you. So I understand, Shedeur Sanders, why you didn't throw the ball away. I'm sorry, y'all. Excuse my language, man. Fathers, excuse my language. I'm sorry. But Shedeur, yes, with him not playing yesterday, why is he throwing to wide receivers wearing number 30? Why didn't he at least get one or two wide receivers who plays on the second team, who's actually going to be on the final 53-man roster? How come he didn't play with anybody that was actually going to be on the 53-man roster in that second half yesterday? How come he didn't play with the tight end that he played with in the first preseason game that he played in? How come he didn't play with a few of the running backs in that first preseason game that he played with? How come you didn't let Shedeur Sanders at least have 1 or 2 drives with some of those second stringers? But you're putting them out there with third and fourth and fifth stringers. You're putting them out there with wide receivers wearing number 30. You're calling 10 and 15 play routes that take a while to develop. You ain't letting them get in the rhythm and calling curls, calling slants, letting them throw quick game. Yes, it was a few times that Shador could have stepped in the part, stepped in front, stepped in. It's a few times during the game. Shedeur Sanders could have stepped in the pocket. Yes, that is factual. It's a few times in the game. Shedeur Sanders could have just threw the ball away. It's a few times in the game. Shedeur could have helped himself out. But he didn't, bruh. Because he was trying to satisfy that bogus-ass coaching staff. He was trying to show the fans some love that came out there and that's wearing his jersey. He just wanted to be a competitor. And you know the shit that really grinded my gears? And the reason why I'm so pissed off is because after y'all set up Shedeur Sanders up for failure, after he had such a bad day in the office, he had an opportunity. Shedeur Sanders had an opportunity. Shedeur Sanders had an opportunity to go out there with 2 minutes left in the game. Shedeur Sanders had an opportunity to go out there with 2 minutes left in the game and still win it. But you're gonna put on Shedeur Sanders. Let me say this correctly. Shedeur Sanders had an opportunity to finish that game yesterday. After having such a bad day, after taking so many sacks, after not being in rhythm, after having 10 to 15-yard routes, Shedeur Sanders had an opportunity to go into that game with 2 minutes left. He was not injured, and he was not hurt. He was not injured, and he was not hurt. Kevin Stefanski, you put Huntley in. Why? You put Snoop Huntley in when Snoop Huntley is a 4 or 5 year vet in the NFL. Snoop Huntley is a 4 to 5 year vet in the NFL. Snoop Huntley backed up Lamar Jackson. Snoop Huntley has played in a playoff game and started a fucking playoff game. Excuse my language. Snoop Huntley doesn't need to go out there for the last 2 minutes of a fucking game. Shedeur Sanders deserved to finish off what he started. He had a bad day in the office. With 2 minutes left in the game, every quarterback's dream, even if it's preseason, dog, to go out there and win the game for your team with 2 minutes left, at least put them in field goal position with 2 minutes left. Why not give your young quarterback who you want to develop, who's in a QB competition, why not give him an opportunity to go out there? Crickets. Snoop Huntley, did he need to go out there for the last 2 minutes when he hasn't played the whole goddamn game, bruh? When he's already a 4 or 5 year vet? When he's backed up Lamar Jackson for 3 years? When he's played in a playoff game? What more film does he need? You're cutting him today or tomorrow. Fact check me. I guarantee you Snoop Huntley is cut today or tomorrow by the Cleveland Browns. So Kevin Stefanski, if you come back and say, oh, I wanted him to get a little film, so for other teams out there, you're fucking lying, dog. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I already cursed a few times. Hey, God forgive me. But seriously, though, think about that, y'all. Snoop Huntley, you go out there in the last 2 minutes when you haven't played the whole game. You're a 4 or 5 year vet that doesn't need any of the extra film. You only came into camp because they needed an extra arm because Kenny Pickett got hurt, Shedeur Sanders got hurt, and then also Dylan Gabriel was hurt once upon a time. So you only brought him in there to be an extra arm. He wasn't getting any reps anyway. Shedeur Sanders is in a QB competition. When you want to see your young QB in a QB competition go out there with the last 2 minutes left in the game to show himself, to prove that he can battle back from the adversity that he's had to overcome since the day he got drafted, and the day that he had a terrible day in the office, getting sacked, not throwing the ball away. When you want to see your rookie quarterback Go out there in the last 2 minutes and show himself. Show that, hey, coach, I had a bad day in the office, but I took us down the field with 2 minutes left, put us in field goal position, or I took us down there with 2 minutes left, scored a touchdown, and we still won the game. But no. Kevin Stefanski, I hope you get fired, dog. I hope you get fired. I hope the Cleveland Browns don't win a game all season, dog, unless Shedeur Sanders is playing quarterback. Dog, why you do that to Shador, bruh? He was raised right, bruh. He's practicing with equipment managers before and after practices, trying as hard as he can, putting in the effort for you goddamn motherfuckers trying to dangle a carrot in front of his face saying, come get it, come get it. Y'all already proved the point to him when he was drafted 144th when he should have been a first-round pick. What more do you have to prove? And for Kevin Stefanski, you're lucky I don't know you. Because I would have had some choice words and some choice actions for you, dog. And I'm just being honest, and I'm not even that kind of person. That's not even in my spirit or my soul. But Kevin Stefanski, what you did to him yesterday, bruh, a blind man can see y'all don't want him to succeed. A blind man can see that y'all don't want him to be successful. A blind man can see that y'all only wanted to exploit him and collect that $250 million that you collected, and he hasn't even taken a snap. You collected $250 million off of exploiting Shedeur Sanders, saying that it's a QB competition when he hasn't got a first-team rep all camp or a second-team rep besides when he had to come in when you had those two quarterbacks injured. You had two quarterbacks injured, right? Kevin Stefanski, you had two quarterbacks injured, so that was the only reason he had to go out there with your second-teamers, right, for the first preseason game and still balled. So then, you know what you want to do, Kevin Stefanski, yesterday? You wanted to make everybody's last impression of Shedeur Sanders be, look at him drifting in the pocket. Look at him. He can't even operate the offense. Look at him, how horrible he looks. Instead of us saying, dang, Shedeur had a bad day, but at least he took the team down the field in that last 2-minute drill and they won the game. He led them to a field goal. He threw a touchdown. He had a bad day in the office, but he battled back through adversity. How come that couldn't be the headline, Kevin Stefanski? How come you had to put Huntley in, who's a 4 or 5 year vet, who's played for Lamar Jackson, who started a playoff game? You wanted to get him more film? That's not what you said, but I know that's what you're going to say tomorrow, this upcoming week, when people start asking you, oh, we wanted to throw him in there for the last 2 minutes so that way we can show other teams that he can operate in a 2-minute drill. Instead of saying, hey, our young quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, go out here and battle back from the horrible day you didn't have and lead us down the field for a score in this last 2-minute drill. How hard is that? But you didn't want to see him succeed. You didn't want him to be successful. You didn't want him to go out there and leave a good impression in people's. You didn't want him to go out there and leave a good impression after having such a bad day. Y'all have set this man up for failure. Y'all have exploited him. Y'all have spit on. Without actually spitting on, y'all have spit in the face of Deion Sanders and his family. After all he has done for you. Deion Sanders is a great human being. But he says one thing. Do not allow my self-confidence and self-belief to offend your insecurities. You mad at Shedeur Sanders because he's confident? You mad at Shedeur Sanders because he was raised right? You mad at Shedeur Sanders because of what? All last year, we heard it was going to be him or Cam Ward. Him or Cam Ward. Then we hear about Jackson Dart. Then we hear about him sliding. Then you take top. Boy. The last thing I'm going to say, y'all, because I didn't say all my points, y'all. I didn't say all my points. I didn't say most of them. Because yesterday, if you want to see, type in Twitter if you want to see my rant. All right. If you want to see me kind of go off a little bit. All right. But I'm done, man. Because this whole situation, man, a blind man can see it. Y'all wanted to prove a point, bro. But what point are you actually proving than hurting somebody who has only wanted to be what his dad was? He wanted to get drafted before his dad was drafted. His dad was drafted like 4th or 5th. He wanted to be a number 2 or 3, top 3 pick to get drafted in front of his dad. And you took that away from him. Now, you don't give him any first-team reps or second-team reps after him looking so good in that first preseason game. Because usually when you look good in a preseason game, you look good in spring ball, they give you a few more reps. That's how they do it in Division I at Arkansas. That's how they did it. Because I started getting a little bit more reps. We'll talk about that another day. That's how they do it in the NFL usually. You look good in the preseason. Oh, let's see how you look with the ones. Let's see how you look with the twos. Shedeur Sanders has not taken a rep with the first team all summer, all preseason, all camp. It's factual. Look it up. It's been documented. It's been written about. Shedeur Sanders has only practiced ever with the second team, and that was because Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett was hurt. And that was because you threw him in the fire after he didn't have any first team or second team reps all week. And then you said, hey, Shador, you're starting. So you had no other choice but to give him the second team reps, but you still ain't giving him any first team reps because you let Flacco take the first team reps still, all of them. So y'all tell me, is it a conspiracy theory or not? Is Mr. Wilson going crazy or is he just spitting facts? I'll wait. But anyway, now to the comments, man. To the comments. All right. All right. First comment we got. It says, I guess the Browns fan base is putting away the sewing kit for the gold jacket. Dog, Shador, he going to be just fine. He just won't be fine in Cleveland. What's going to happen in Cleveland? You know why God don't like ugly? What's going to happen in Cleveland? Joe Flacco going to get knocked out with the first couple of games because, dog, he playing the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, he's playing all teams that made the playoffs last year. So you're going to sleep old Joe. I need to start calling him Sleepy Joe. Like they call Joe Biden, I'm going to call Joe Flacco Sleepy Joe. So you're finna Sleepy Joe, go out there, and he going to get replaced real quick. Kenny Pickett, how the hell is Kenny Pickett second on the depth chart? He ain't taking no reps since the first week of July. How is Kenny Pickett second on the depth chart when he's been injured with a hamstring and hasn't taken any second team or first team reps or taken any reps at that? He didn't play all preseason, but he's still in front of Shador and Dillon Gabriel. I can even see, you can put Dillon Gabriel there, and I wouldn't have no problem. But how is Kenny Pickett there when he hasn't done anything? Yes, he's a former first-round pick, but he shouldn't have even been that. They didn't want him they didn't want him when he played for the Steelers. They didn't want him when he played for the Eagles. And now, y'all all of a sudden want him? The proof is in the pudding. Kenny Pickett can't play. And I hope you prove me wrong, Kenny Pickett. I don't like speaking bad on nobody. But we'll see. All right. Second comment. How you going to trade someone nobody obviously wanted? Buddy fell to the 5th round. Nobody is desperate for a QB. And no team wants that PR only if his dad and friends does him a favor. All right, so Jeremy Simmons, super chat comment. I respect what you're saying, Jeremy. Jeremy, you got to understand, though. Dog. Eric Dickerson came out and exposed the NFL last week. Eric Dickerson said last week, what did he say? Eric Dickerson said, dog, at the end of the day, they conspired against Shedeur Sanders. They told all the NFL teams, don't draft Shedeur Sanders. And look why they didn't draft Shedeur Sanders. But then, the only reason why they drafted him, because it was looking so bad. Mel Kiper Jr. had Shador rated ahead of Cam Ward when Mel Kiper Jr. has been doing this before you was alive and me. So is Mel Kiper Jr., does he not know what he's talking about? I mean, he's the expert. He's been doing this for many years. Okay. And then you said nobody, I guarantee, put Shador on a waiver wire. I guarantee somebody pick him up. Let's test this theory. I want you to start a petition. Trade Shador, trade Shador. And I guarantee somebody, because you're saying nobody want him, but that team, LA Rams, guess who back hurt now? Matthew Stafford. Guess who I thought Daniel was going to take Shedeur Sanders, the LA Rams, because Matthew Stafford, the boy damn near 30-40. He having back issues. He about to retire. He already got a Super Bowl ring. Watch what happens in LA. Watch what happens to the Rams. But you said nobody wants Shedeur. Okay, Jeremy. Then he said they should cut him and watch who claims him off wires. That will tell all. That's a fact. And you know something? I'm happy you said that, Jeremy, because you know what kind of business the NFL is? The NFL is a business where it's like, what have you done for me lately? So how is Kenny Pickett still on the team? And he hasn't played a snap since July. He hasn't played a snap since July. Let's make it make sense. And you saying nobody wants Shador. And if teams wanted him, they'll be lining up. Dog. Watch Cleveland not release him. Because guess what? Eventually, the cream going to rise to the top. And eventually, Kenny Pickett going to get hurt again. Joe Flacco going to get hurt again. And Dylan Gabriel going to get out there and look like trash. Watch what I say. I hope that doesn't happen. And I hope Shador next year he get a real opportunity. But that's the thing. That's another point. Yesterday could have been the last opportunity in that 2-minute drill that we see Shador all year. Because once you have your starting quarterback, you don't go off of him unless they lose him. So why not want to see your rookie quarterback just see what he can do in an actual game situation, even though it's preseason, in a 2-minute drill? Answer me that, Jeremy, but let's keep talking. I hope they cut QB number 12 this week. The Cleveland Browns are clowns, are straight up garbage. John, I agree with that. Next time, it says, so why are you not in the NFL then? I'm not in the NFL because shit, I gave up on myself. The fuck? I can say that. So SO to trans, yes, I'm not in the NFL, dog, because I walked away. Because you know, so I'm ready. I didn't have to go chase out a carrot. I didn't have to do any of those things. God told me that if the most important things to you, son, is having a family, having a wife, having kids, and taking care of your family, and eventually buying your mother a house, guess what? You can hop on this podcast, sit in the comfort of your home, and make it. And I don't got to chase a carrot. I don't got to have somebody telling me, hey, you can't play today. Hey, you got to sit on the bench behind a freshman. So, yes, I'm not in the NFL because I decided to walk away from a Division I school when all I had to do was sit on the bench and I still would have had my Division I opportunity. So, yes, Mr. Wilson, he quit prematurely. Mr. Wilson should have stayed at Arkansas for a little longer. That's factual. But guess what? This is my life, not yours. Did you have a chance to go to the NFL? Did you play Division I football? I'm just asking. Anyway, but they didn't. Now you're here. Stop living in your glory days. Move on and get the fuck off the internet and work on your soul. Bro, my soul is better than yours, dog. Because you sitting here in my comments talking shit. But I love it because now that's a beautiful thing, boy. Because guess what? Haters going to always hate. They're going to always talk. You feel me? And that's the beautiful thing about life. If you have self-belief like I do, because, dog, you just don't know. You commenting. That's making me, dog, make it make sense. You said, how come you ain't in the NFL? How come you got to work on your soul? Dog, you sitting here watching me, commenting on my stuff. What you doing in your life? Comment down below. Let me know. So, hey, any of my kids that's watching, any of my old students that's watching and all that, y'all know this kind of soul Mr. Wilson got. Mr. Wilson don't got to explain himself to nobody, so I'm sorry that I even went into an explanation. But anyway, let's continue. I love these comments. I love it. Engagement is getting for real. Do you believe Shedeur Sanders will make the Buck squad? Nah, Shiloh got released. Shiloh messed himself up. He let who was that? Zach he let somebody hit him. He let somebody rile him up. But I honestly, in my opinion, Shiloh was always the brother who really, like, he wasn't. I never thought Shiloh was that good. I never thought Shedeur Sanders was that good. So I like, he messed himself up. He potentially could have made it on the practice squad, but with him punching the tight end, that kind of got him riled up. And yes, I was deliberate. Yes, if you watch the video, Shedeur Sanders, yes, he shouldn't have punched the dude in the face, because you only hurt yourself, Shiloh. But at the same time, I would never been big on Shiloh. Shiloh, I love you. You're a great human. You're a great person. But I never thought your football abilities was that good. Even when you was at Colorado, you cost Colorado a game or two. Yes, you came back from injury, but Shiloh, I never thought you was that good. I love Shiloh. I love the Sanders family, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I'm not a big fan of Shiloh. He's a great human. Me and Shiloh kick it on a regular, like if we was buddies, but he's just not that good at a football player. I feel like I was a better safety than him. Check my highlight tape. Why do you assume that Shador will be able to reach field goal range? The reason why I assume Shador will be able to reach field goal range, because, dog, he just played like shit. Look at his track record. Bruh, he did it at Jackson State multiple times. He did it at Colorado multiple times. The first game he played at Colorado, they went down and beat TCU, who just came off a national championship. Dog. And this is why I'm so frustrated that I didn't hop back on the pod last year when Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter and all them boys was at Colorado still and doing their thing. And that's on me for not, hopping on here and doing my due diligence and hopping on here and speaking in front of y'all, because they took a program that was 1-11, one of the worst programs in college football history, took them to 4 and I think, what was that, 4-9, 4-8, and then they took them to 9-4 in a bowl game. Dog. They turned the program around, whether you want to accept it or not. They had a Heisman Trophy winner, whether you want to give it to them or not. It's factual evidence, dog. So yes, like, I think Shador would have drove him down the field in those last 2 minutes, and they would have been just fine. Yes. I appreciate these comments, though. I appreciate these comments. He said, no, it's not a conspiracy. You're crazy. I've been called crazy most of my life, dog, and I didn't accomplish more than you. You on my comments. Dog, you commented on my stuff. So who really the crazy one? You ain't here bothering me. But I love it because you increasing my engagement, so thank you. If you want to send me a couple dollars too, I'll take that. But, dog, you sitting here in my comments, you're making me money as we speak. Are you an idiot or are you just dumb? I played Division I football. I have accomplished a lot in my life, and I'm still not done yet. I'm okay. Dog, I'm okay with where I'm at in my life. I have so much more in store. You are just, bro, you in my comments. You making me money. Like, let's make it make sense. Bro, that's why, hey, don't ever let the trolls get to you or anything. That is hilarious, though. You're making me money, dog. Keep on commenting. Because every comment, my bank account doing this. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. My mama might get another house. Did you buy your mama a house? Joey D, did you buy your mama a house? Oh, okay. Anyway, check Mel's record. It's really bad. There are tons of YouTube videos. Mel Kiper's record? Bro, Mel, you bringing up, bro, Mel Kiper, bro, he's a legend, dog. Bro, we're not perfect. We're all wrong at times. But Mel Kiper, he was the only one who stood up for Shador. That's why Mel Kiper will always be good in my book. Just throwing it out there. I love your comments, though, dog. I love it because hey, I love it. You awesome for this. Keep it up. D1 college at that. He said college is college. D1 college at that. You ask questions, 5 live viewers is making bank. Bruh. Dog, but you one of my viewers. Dog, do you see how many? Dog. Dog. Hey, Joey D. Dog. You got to crawl before you can walk. Right now, Mr. Wilson crawling. But today it might be 5 years. Tomorrow it might be 6. It might be 10 and 11. Bro, I'm okay with that. You got to crawl before you can walk, baby. I love your engagement, though, Joey D. Keep on commenting, boy. You a bad boy. 3 watching, started streaming 2 hours ago. Yeah, because I done hit about 5, 10 topics. Hey, Joey D, I love you. I appreciate you, baby. And Mr. Wilson, I got other stuff to do. I got to hop over here. The 2 hours this has taken most of my day. But anyway, I just wanted to read a couple comments. Joey D, SO to you, bro. I love my haters because haters, like I said, you make me money as we speak. Okay. But also, Joey D, I haven't streamed in like over a year, dog. Make it make sense. I know I got to build my followers and my stuff back up. It's just the beginning. Go back to the beginning of this video, Joey D, and you might have to listen to what I was saying because you might need a little bit of that in your life. The journey, baby. The journey. Embrace the journey. Love the journey. Joey D, you intrude in my journey, and I thank you. I thank you. 3 viewers. Yes. Yes, I love my 3 viewers. I love them. God is so good, boy. But I said I was going to read the comments, so y'all, all right. I said a lot today. Shador, I don't know exactly what you're going through, brother. I don't know exactly what you're experiencing, but just know it's a light at the end of the tunnel. To my kids out there who I coached before, who I've, if I impacted your life in some way, I hope you guys can learn from my story. And I hope that you can, just take one thing out of my story that's going to be inspirational to you. All right. Never stop going after your dreams. Never stop going after your goals. You have to believe in yourself, believe in where you're headed and where you're going. And please, please trust God. Trust God. Because I wouldn't have got to Marion University. I wouldn't have made it to Arkansas. And I wouldn't be here talking in front of y'all right now if it wasn't for that big man upstairs. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, baby. Trust in him. You understand me? Joey D, SO to you. SO to the other people in the comments. I told y'all we was going to get to Shador. I appreciate y'all sticking around, hanging out, and waiting until we got to Shador. I got a lot of other stuff going on right now. In a couple weeks, I'll update y'all as far as my case goes. Because Mr. Wilson got a little case going on, with lawsuit and things of that nature. So I'll continue to update you guys with that, but I didn't want to really talk about it in this video, and I won't be talking about it. That'll be like a separate video, separate thing, separate little deal. But it's been fun though. It's been fun. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully this story, it does something for one of y'all. And there's a lot of things that I left out. So if y'all ever want to, ask me in the comments something, if you ever want to hit me up, feel free to pop back in here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. And thank you for coming back to Golden Gemz Media. Hey, it's a journey, baby. You got to crawl before you can walk. I'm out here balling like Gino, baby. I'm out here balling like my best friend, man. Rest in heaven, brother. I miss you. I love you. To all y'all out there, man, like I said, hey, believe in your journey, man. Believe in where you're headed and where you're going. Trust yourself. Trust your ability. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not him and you're not her. Love your journey, man. It's uniquely yours. So, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. God bless you. And, hey, Mr. Wilson. Ow. Deuces.